What's up folks, this is Pierre-André Mathieu and I'm here today with a tutorial on how to implement the damage system for the melee weapon manually, in addition to refining the damage system unarmed. Now, before I get on to this tutorial, I would like to show you a little something. Now, if you're following the tutorial but find something isn't working, you can download my finished project file to compare your code and fix it instantly. And it's in 3 of my memberships. So I suggest you go to my Patreon page and select one of them of your choosing. The link is within the description down below, so be sure to check it out. That being said, let's get started. Alright, I have my stage here. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to attack with my weapon, but for some reason it's not damaging the enemy at all. And that's because I haven't implemented a damage system as of yet. So I'm gonna fix that. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to go to blueprints, thing, character. No, actually, yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna go to character template, and what I'm gonna do inside here is I'm going to add the character's own unique damage system, step by step. And the first thing I'm going to do is quite simple, actually. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a event dispatcher. I'm going to call it hit target. And once I've gotten that, I'm going to add a new variable. Actually, I can add a new function and call it hit character, then add a hit result, Then what I'm going to do is go to hit target, then copy signature from hit character, alright. The next thing I'm gonna do is add, well, I'm gonna have to put this on collision because hit character is a part of it. I'll add another one and call it activate collision. On second thought, I'll convert this to an event because what I'm going to be using is the gate, and it allows for opportunities for opening and closing certain functions, like hitting a target to cause damage for that execution to flow nicely. So I'm gonna drag this out and see if I have nope, I don't seem to have it. So I'll just have to create one. Alright, now that I have that, I'm going to drag it out and promote to a variable. And I'll just leave it at false with this new variable. Then what I'm gonna do is drag this out and bring a branch, and I'm going to use this to determine whether the active collision is open or closed. Do I still have this? Yes, I do. So alright, this is what I'm gonna do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this then paste it. Okay, I have this, but not the whole damage part the way I do here. But that's gonna change because I'm going to bring in a custom event, then rename it collision tick. I'm sorry, not collision tick. Hit collision. And guess what? I'm going to put each and one of these to the input of this event in which I created. So scene component, start collision and collision, in which I'm going to name them. But rather than using this for that, I'm going to change this link to an exit. Then for enter, I'll use hit collision, because once the active collision is on, I will then and only then fire the hit collision. But the thing is, even if it does that, it's going to end up firing and damaging the opponent continuously without the player having to notice it. So what I'm gonna do is bring out a branch, then drag a node from the condition and type in activate hit collision, just to prevent this from happening. And once I got that, I'm gonna drag this and call upon hit target. I'm gonna erase that because I don't need it. Actually, for this, I can actually put these on the custom event in which I created because they can come in handy. Especially when trying to make changes to certain stuff when doing the whole collision size, radius, and damage, because I'll never know, and you might not know too. Okay. Once I got that, I'm going to go to initialize and bind the event, which is the hit target. I have to create an event. I'll use hit character. Before I do that, I'm gonna go to the player character and okay, first off, I'll go here and turn off the melee weapon to test out the damage on system while fighting unarmed. Okay, now that I'm on the player character, I'm going to first do this. Yeah, I'm going to add event hit character Then from here, I'll draw out break hit result. Then for the hit actor, I'm gonna use enemy. I'll open this character again. Just to extract all of this. To here. So I'm gonna have to get rid of that because I don't need it. What I do need, however, is these. For the heat result, I'll use the event hit character because it has the hit result. Alright. I'm going to highlight this. And call it enemy hit. Before I even test out the new damage system that I created, I'm gonna go on animation notifies, which I'm on right now, then click general, and notify state, hitboxes, template, and here I'm going to make changes to the hitbox. Now, this is what I originally have, beginning to end. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a lot of changes to this. Alright, first things first, I'll get rid of these. Then extract the node and bring in activate collision. Because this is where the active collision begins. Then I'll replace this with hit collision. Because since I'm using the mesh component, it's only fair that I can link this to the target, which, by the way, I'm gonna have to rename it to mesh component. As for these, I'm just going to use the ones I have currently. Actually, I'll use that. And for this one, I'll promote to a variable, then expose it. And as for this, I'll bring in activate collision again, and this time I'll leave it at false. Now, in order for me to test it and see if it works, I'm gonna go to characters, animations, and I'll use this as an example. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah, because I'm using a different animation. Now let's see. Yeah, it's working. Now let's see if it works. I'm gonna experiment with other animations for this to work, just to prove if what I built here is correct. Yep. It's correct, alright. Let's clear it up a little. There we go. Now it works. I'll have to fix that later. There. So now I know that the damage system that I've built is working. And it's working quite the charm too. Alright, now that I set up the damage system for the enemy through the player character, I'm going to set up the damage system for the player through the enemy. And what I'm going to do here is, since that I'm on enemy, which is inside template, character folder, and blueprints, I'm going to open the enemy blueprint, and inside here I'm going to get event hit character, erase that, Then from hit results, I'm going to break hit result. Now, I'm gonna do the same thing like I do with the player character, but the enemy's target is the player character. So, once again, I'm going to copy all this and paste it. But I'm not gonna let the enemy use all this because it's not the player. I'm not gonna let the enemy use all this either, so I'm going to use the player character. I'll use that because, again, not using the player character. I'll use location and impact point. Just to prove that my assumption is correct, I'll have to place a debug for each animation the enemy uses. Let's see if it works. Yep. It's working. Needless to say, mission success on that one. Alright, now that I got both the damage system for player and enemy character unarmed, the next and last thing I'm going to do is to implement the damage system for whenever the player uses the melee weapon in which he is equipped with. So to open that, I go to blueprints, then melee weapon. If you're not understanding, well, this is the blueprint, this is the melee weapon. Now what I'm going to open here is the master melee weapon, which I have right here. But before I do that, I'm going to first turn on the melee weapon by clicking it to false. This is the melee weapon data table, by the way, which is in the data table folder on the project folder in which I currently have. So now that the player is equipped with the melee weapon again, I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the character blueprint. So first things first, I'm going to add a function called hit opposing target. Then add import and change it to hit result. Now what I'm going to do is add an event dispatcher and called it hit target. Then I'm going to copy signature from hit opposing target Now, what I'm going to do is basically the same thing. I'll just bring this to here. Then create a variable based on that. I'm gonna erase that. Bring the static mesh. I'll call it melee weapon because that's what this is. going to erase those and leave only withdraw debug type. Don't need that. Actually, I can replace this with a box trace. I'll just call upon hit target again. And there. Alright, I have this, but this is the part where I'm missing. What I'm missing here is the half size and half orientation. So I'll have to come up with something that actually has the best of both worlds when utilizing in such a thing. So what I'm going to do is drag a node and use get relative rotation . Actually, I'm gonna open that and add a socket manager. I'm gonna rename this bottom blade. Yeah, I'll put it right here, and I'll add another socket called the top blade. So now that I got that, I'll name this bottom blade. And this one top blade. For this one, I'll just put it private. I'll go to Ninja character and use this to paste it right here. Yeah, this is much more effective than having to drag a node one by one every single time. Doesn't have this, so what I'm gonna do is drag out owner character delete that. I'll get owner character. Got it. So, organize that. compile and save. Now that I've built the damage system inside the master melee weapon blueprint, what I'm going to do is go to blueprints within my project, animation notifies player, and animation notifies state, because this is where I'm going to set up the animation notify for whenever the player attacks with the use of a melee weapon like a katana. So the first thing I'm gonna do is open blueprint class, search for anim notify state, then click it. Then I'll name this state to set hit melee weapon. I'm gonna double click. I'm going to get owner, then cast to player character. Alright. What it needs is something in which the character is able to use the weapon. So what I'm gonna do is add a new function, because through this function I have to make something in which the ninja character is able to communicate through the animation notify state to use the melee weapon. So I'll name this function get me weapon valid. I'll convert it to a pure function. I'll drag the child actor. Let's see. Yeah, can go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Now that I have that, I'm going to get melee weapon valid. Use activate collision. Notify tick. Last thing. Turn it off. Oh, and one more thing. There. All set. Now this is the part where I'm going to use this new animation notify state for combat animations. So for combo A, I'm going to click one of them. From this frame, I'm going to search for set hit through melee weapon. I'm gonna put in a duration. I'm gonna copy this just in case. Before I do that, I'm going to put half size, just in case. Now, let's see if it works. Nothing's working. I wonder why. Ah, I think I know the answer. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, I'm right. So, I set the weapon damage right, but the sound part is all wrong. So, let's check it out. Alright, I'm going to remove that and replace it with these. Let's see if it works. Nope. Still at it. That. Now let's see if it works. Perfect. Now that that's taken care of, let's do the magic with the combos. Alright, let's put these to the test, shall we? maybe I should decrease the size a little. Yep. That's how I set up the damage system for both the melee weapon and players and enemies through unarmed combat. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel for future tutorials such as this, and remember, don't forget to check out my Patreon page if you're following my tutorial but not sure where you went wrong. Check out my Patreon page for the full project file. The link is within the description down below, so please keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that what you take and learn from me is yours to do with as you see fit. Peace out, and I will see you on the next video.